Hello, my name is Guillaume. I'm a Canadian pension actuary and the author of the Actuarial Excel Addin. The Actuarial Excel Addin adds functionalities to Excel workbooks to perform simple and complex actuarial valuation of pension plans and pension plan administration tasks like calculation of benefits, preparation of benefit statements, and preparation of annual statements. Since 2005, the add-in has been used by actuaries and pension plan administrators. Trial of the actual Excel add-in is available for free at the address appearing on screen. Welcome to this video, part of a growing series of tutorials. So let's turn off the camera and start the tutorial. I hope to see you there. In this tutorial, I will go over the main functionalities of the actual Excel add-in, or the add-in for short. Note that the add-in has been previously installed on my computer and I have Excel open. Detailed instructions for the installation and registration of the add-in are covered in a separate tutorial available at the address appearing on screen. The add-in functionalities can be separated in two categories: the menu-driven functionalities and the UDF functions, or user-defined functions, which are the equivalent of native Excel functions like sum, average, but are loaded with the add-in and can be used in any cell of the worksheet, just like native Excel function. Starting with the add-in menu, on Excel main menu on top of the screen, you can see the actual add-in option. And when it's active, it's underlined. If I click on the add-in option, the submenu and options are revealed. Some options I will not cover because they are related to specific topics that will be covered in separate tutorials. Starting at the far right, I have the button About. If I click on it, a window opens and I get the current version of the add-in installed on my computer, here 4.5.0.0. Next to it, you have the Open Doc button that gives access to the documentation of all the add-ins UDF, user-defined function. If I click on it, I have the list of all the functions divided by categories. And for example, if I click on OAS, I get the information on the Canadian Old Age Security Program, how to use the function, the parameters, and everything. Next button, I'm skipping settings, which will be covered separately. If I click on Update Data File, you see that the add-in comes with three data files. OBINQX contains the mortality tables and mortality projection scales. OBINStat contains Canadian statistics used by pension actuaries like old age security amounts and limits, Canada and Quebec pension plan amounts and limit, consumer price index, wage index, prescribed interest rates for calculation of pension commuted values, Income Tax Act limits like for RPPs, registered pension plan, RRSP, and the like. And finally, the third file, Aubin stocks, which contain month-end value of financial market indices of stocks, bonds, and treasury bills. The statistics are updated monthly and mortality tables when required. So when I click on the Update Data File button, I get this window, and under Local Version is indicated the date of the version installed on the computer, and under Remote Version, the date of the most up-to-date version available. And you can see that two of my data files are out of date, and if I want to upload the current data file, I tick the box on its left, and I click Update. I could do one or two or three at a time, whatever I want. Here I would just close the window. Next, you have the Change the Data File directory, and that shows you where the data files, the three data files that we've just discussed, are saved or on your computer or on the computer. Here it's in the default value or default directory is the Actuarial Addin data directory. within the documents directory. Next button is the registration key manager. And to have access to that button, you need to open Excel with the administrator's privilege. So obviously I have that privilege here. So if I click on registration key manager button, that window appears. And what you can see in that window is your computer key on the first box on top, which is unique to your computer, and an add-in key that has been registered below in the registration key box, and which is specific again to your computer and also indicate when the license will expire. All license expire, but trial version expire after a few weeks, and the regular license expire at December 31st and are renewed annually. I will touch briefly on the three leftmost button, create the input sheet, create the result sheets, and print the statement to PDF. And in a nutshell, these three options allow to loop on data, isolate individual records from the data sheet, and make whatever calculations you want on that individual records, save the selected individual results in a separate worksheet, go to the next record, and loop until the end of the data worksheet. So just for the illustration today, I've already created a data sheet, and leftmost column is mandatory. You must indicate an ID, a number, which for each record would be unique. And then whatever information you want in the following columns. Columns must be continuous, no blank column. And so the button create the input sheet, use the data sheet, and isolate one record at a time. So it has already been done. Here we have the ID 44, and we have ID 3, 7, 21, and 44. So if let's say we want the ID 7, then we have Anna and her information. And with that, and note that every variable has been named. So sex, for example, has been named sex underscore, age has been named age underscore, service underscore, and salary underscore, same for name, and ID. ID is no underscore, but you could have also the underscore value. And with these, we could do whatever calculation we want, and we could refer to the cell by their name instead of their B2 and B7 or whatever. So just for the illustration, I've calculated some accrued pension and future pension with a 1.5% formula, or 1.5% of earnings. So if I calculate the accrued pension, 1.5% times service times salary, and future pension would be 1.5% times 65 minus age, assuming retirement at 65, times salary. So for a total pension of 39,000 at retirement. Then I create an output sheet where I indicate which information I want to keep after a specific calculation. So here I decided to keep the ID, the name, the accrued pension, the future pension, and the total value. And if I click on create the result sheet, it will loop over my data and save the information, the result in a separate worksheet. So the worksheet res.all has been saved, and with the result of my individual calculations kept here. The PDF button, or print the statements to PDF, is similar, except that the difference is that a worksheet will be printed to PDF. So one worksheet would contain, for example, an annual statement for a member, and when after looping over every record, a PDF will be created for one PDF per member, and a global PDF for all the statements prepared. So this covers the menu functionalities. Now let's move to the second part of the add-in functionalities, that is the UDF, or user-defined functions. The intent here is not to go over every functions, but rather to show how to access them, the functions, and get help when needed. Separate tutorials will cover them in detail. There is a specific tutorial on annuity factors which covers the add-in functions JS, LX, and CIA. Like any Excel native functions, UDF functions can be used in formulas. You can enter directly in a cell or access them via the FX button, which opens a dialog box. So if I click on FX, for example, I go to, and there are the categories actuarial date, actuarial, vector, Canada. So Canada, for example, I have various statistics functions. So OAS, if I click on OAS, I get all the window with the arguments. So I'm currently in the box year. So below you see year for which we need a statistics. And if I go to code, there's an explanation of what is expected as a parameter. So just as an example, using the OAS function. So OAS can be used in any cell. I first enter the year. So you see on screen, I hope you see on screen, it's expecting year, let's say 2017, and a code from 1 to 5, let's say 3 for the third quarter. So it returns the value of the monthly OAS pensions for the third quarter of 2017. And instead of hard coding the parameters, you can also refer to other cells, so which I did on this table. So here, for example, the first, I'm in cell C7, OAS referred to year, which is year in B7, and referred also to a code on C6. So the same for all. So if I move, so the value, so no need to hard code the parameters. If I change the year here, all the value are updated or refreshed. And if enter 2021, again the value are refreshed with the fourth quarter with an error because this information is not yet available. We're in August 2021. So this complete the overview of the actual add-in functionalities. I hope you like the tutorial, and I hope to see you in the future. Thank you.